We are live. Sounds working. Should be working. What's up, y'all, in the future? Just fast forward on a little ways. Gonna give some time for some people to show up, join in, do a mock draft. Hopefully, it's busier than Tuesday. I feel like Tuesday was actually our slowest day yet. Maybe. I don't know. But, guys, there's news, and I wrote it down this time so we can get through it a little bit quicker. I know ads are run first, and it looks like my notification just went out, so I'll stall a little bit longer before I get to that. But we're going to do, I want to do two 12-teamers because I got my draft coming up in a couple of days. Trying to figure out drafting from the 11th spot. Not my favorite spot to be drafting from. It's fine early. It's these some of these other rounds. I don't love it. Michael, Metro, what's up? We got Eminem in chat. Let's go. All right. Some news. Kind of going from most recent to least recent for the most part here. Josh Downs exited practice today with a hamstring injury, it has been confirmed. So that's not great. That, if those things linger too, we're starting to get close enough to the season where those things are more concerning, especially for the start of the season. But then, guys come back too early or whatever happens, and it can be a season-long thing, and that could really make a guy like Tyler Warren pay off. So little tip of the hat to Tyler Warren with that news. Not great. Don't love to hear it. I like Josh Downs. We could do one with our league settings at some point for practice. The league settings are half PPR. So, we're good. Oh, you mean like flex and stuff? Yeah, we could do that leading up into it. It's really just more about best player available. You don't really have to worry too much about how many running backs or wide receivers you get. Less urgent to have reserves at any specific position. Matt Stafford, the news still isn't great. He is supposed to do another practice this Saturday, just like he did last Saturday. So it seems like they're kind of, that's almost like NFL schedule-wise, right? Every Sunday. So, I just kind of wonder if they're testing things out to see where he's at. But you read some of the quotes about it, it still doesn't sound great, but it's, better than not that he's going to get out there again this Saturday and throw again, and then they'll see how his body reacts to that, I suppose. Some good news in terms of possible running back reinforcements for the fantasy drafts here, and good news for Browns fans. Browns rookie running back Quinshon Judkins will not be charged. The prosecution will not be bringing up any formal charges against him for anything. It's from what I read, it is expected that things will progress quickly between himself and the team in terms of getting a contract put together, him getting into camp practices, getting some practice in is what it sounds like. So I guess hold our jets on Jerome Ford and maybe get a little excited about Quinshon Judkins again. It's fantasy football, so frankly, especially if no crime has been committed, at least officially, fantasy football. I draft guys, regardless of their history, sometimes. So I don't know. He might. I don't know if he's going to I got a feeling he's not going to skyrocket, which I think will make him possibly a value. But of course, his ADP will not get to as high as it had been because there's just going to be concerns of him missing time, getting up to date, getting ready for camp and everything. But he is really, really talented. Final project for high school pre-med. No, high school? Not high school. Pre-med came through. Was about the effects of concussions and CTE in football. We made it into the intermediate now. What do you have? What kind of information do you have to share? Because I actually never did watch that Netflix, was it, concussion documentary? And I just know, getting hit in the head and all, it's not good. It's not good. Rashee Rice is expected to have a disciplinary hearing with the NFL on September 30th, so about a month and a half yet. The NFL season will have begun. In fact, 4 weeks of the NFL season will have passed. So the expectation right now is that he will be available for at least the first 4 weeks of the season. Will they do a suspension in season? The NFL typically tries to avoid that kind of stuff, but I got a feeling this is a situation where they still would do it. I will be keeping my ears open, and if you hear anybody who, knows about the inner workings of the NFL and whatnot, connected people talking about it, feel free to share those in chats in the future. But as of now, I don't like that. We don't actually know what the suspension will be lengthwise, so that adds to the risk. And it's just going to be in the middle of the season. There's going to be that means then there's a potential of adding an extra bye week onto the missed time. I don't know, your team, in terms of putting pressure on your team. You might have bye weeks with players on your team while he's missing time, and then you have to make that decision, especially if you don't have IR spots. But you can't put him on IR in most leagues anyways, if it's a suspension. So that really puts a cramp on your roster, potentially forcing you to drop a guy who you spent pretty decent capital on and got 4 weeks out of, and then, you drop him and somebody else picks him up, potentially. So I don't love that. Teal Storm, yes, take Chase all day. Chase is the 101 for a reason. I would not shy away from that. Their defense does not appear to have gotten incrementally better yet under new tutelage, just based off of very, very much little information. I just said not much. But nonetheless, it's not going to be great, probably. So they're going to be passing a lot. He's really, really talented. They've got a really talented quarterback. Number 1 offense last year, I believe. At least passing offense. So, give me that all day. They're going to put a lot more touchdowns up than Atlanta Falcons will. And Atlanta doesn't have the greatest defense, so they're going to be in passing. They're not going to be able to sit there and run late game all the time. So, Bijan, there are some limitations to that upside if that defense doesn't come together for Atlanta either, just in terms of game flow. The chances for re-injury, psychological effect, recovery process, and several cases of it with a lot of other little things as well. I know, but just I don't know. Got any nuggets about, I don't know, somebody like Chris Olave and how afraid we should or should not be? Can you make it a 14 so I can practice? Well, I'm doing a practice for myself. We can do a 14 next, I guess. And because there will probably be more people in by then anyways. Steven Jackson, are you worried that we saw the ceiling already from Chase? How can he replicate that? Did he do it last year? Could he do it again? I always say if you've done it once, you can do it again. I mean, why would you punish a guy for doing really well? I just never get that argument. All right, somebody did fantastic last season, so they're just going to suck all of a sudden? That doesn't really happen. He's in his prime. He's really good. Could it be his best career? Sure. Could he still be the best receiver this year? By pretty much, I don't know a single expert, including myself, who doesn't think that he's the front runner. And I'm someone who I have not had the previous year's number 1 wide receiver as my number 1 receiver the next year. I don't think ever, at least in terms of doing these officially. I've been doing my own projections for a decade, for close to 2 decades, not every single year. But ever since I've been doing it more officially, I don't sit there and just choose the guy who did the best last year and put him in front. But it's just a really good situation. Also, what do you think of the bond to Browns and both the Q Chargers dropped? Isaiah Bond to the Browns bringing in another somebody. I wasn't like a huge Isaiah Bond fan during draft season. I think he got like a fourth roundish, fifth round wide receiver talent with good upside. Good upside. So I mean, why not bring him in? And I don't know. And both and Q Chargers dropped. I don't know what that is. The effect of Olave would be bad. If it wasn't for him, well, yeah, I'm not talking long term though. If it wasn't for him having an off season for recovery, his chances are a lot higher to be hurt. But his motor functions are going to be normal. So you have full Olave, just a more injury prone Olave. Yeah. Not punishing him, just saying the wide receiver one number. Yeah, like I said, I haven't. A lot of times people do put the previous year's wide receiver one as the next year's wide receiver one. I don't know that never is accurate, but yeah, I mean it usually doesn't happen. There's a lot of things that need to go right, but that doesn't mean that you don't take the guy who has the best chance to do it, just because they might not do it. So will everybody else. I mean, you take Chase Brown and you take the next. Every other wide receiver in tier 1, the odds are that one of those other wide receivers will be the number 1 wide receiver. But each of their individual chances of being the number 1 wide receiver next year, most people, a lot of people, think it's Chase. I think it's Chase. But injuries happen. There's so many things that can happen every single year that somebody else can just have a better year, even when a player has a great year. So, you just, Q's Chargers were dropped. Oh, I already talked about that. Because as far as I know, he didn't even have a fencing response like Tua had. Yeah, I don't think so, which is good. Now Tua, I am staying away from in the same way Gronk would be after how bad it's gotten. To be honest, he probably has genuine brain damage and won't ever really be the same. You ever listen to him talk? I feel like he's not the smartest cat. Yeah, they had him. He was on the Miami Dolphins. Had a what's the HBO show? The HBO show. I don't think I said anything too important, Metro. I just pretty much read what you had said, and then dunked on Tua a little bit. Let's see. Other news, I thought that we knew this already. I literally wrote that down. So I thought that we knew this, but a Bucks beat reporter said that he would, quote-unquote, be shocked, and this is apparently news, if Godwin doesn't start the year on the PUP list. This is something that since, July, before that, June, since I started working on this fantasy football season, I've been talking about. Godwin missing time, the first several weeks of the season. So, I don't know. Okay. News to some people. So, wanted to repeat that. Ken Walker has returned to camp, and he looks healthy again. According to a report, I assume from a local beat reporter, he looks good again. So, that's good. Never really held his injury too much against him right now. I had lost my news here. Hunter Renfrow is with the Carolina Panthers, if you're not aware, and he continues to get some buzz here and there out at training. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is he going to be somebody or not? It's tough to, draft him because they're so, I don't know. They're just... It's tough to draft him and everything, but keep an eye on that. See if more news builds closer and closer to any of your drafts or something like that. Maybe he'll be somebody to try to sneak in late, but I love Hunter Renfrow. We'll see. I'd love to see him return to form and get a good opportunity to do that. Dolphins secondary looks horrible versus the Lions in joint team practices today, maybe yesterday too. And part of that, you could watch some reels of Amon-Ra St. Brown absolutely cooking them. Now, Miami Dolphins secondary was not really their strongest point on their team coming into this offseason. They didn't really improve it a lot, and there have been a lot of injuries back there. It's not good. Not a good situation there. So it makes sense that they're getting cooked by the Lions. What I wonder from this is that we keep hearing things about Jalen Waddle looking really, really good in camp. Should we maybe attribute some of that to the people that he's going up against, the secondary of the Dolphins, that, according to reports, it was like the most lopsided joint practice anybody's ever seen. Michael, we'll start it when I start it, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. 12-team half PPR, would you... Okay, no, I thought you were asking if this is 12-team PPR. 12-team half PPR, would you take Tyreek at the 2-3 turn? Let's see where I technically have Tyreek, and then we'll get this thing started here. I have overall rankings, which I'll be doing a video for sooner than later, and, then they'll be available. Why? Oh, this one. All right, so, I have Tyreek Hill 3rd round, 4th round, 12-team. Now, that being saying, that's not exactly true. More like early 3rd. More like early 3rd is where I will maybe take a chance on him. I don't think I've gotten him once in a practice. All right, so we got 5 of us in here. If there's anybody else that wants to get on in here, let me know. Let's see if I can make this work this time. Working from the 1. Yeah, let's see if I can make this work from the 11 spot this time. Q, are you coming on in here? Are you shut up, Carson? You're shut up, Carson, aren't you? Everything's going well, Q. How are you doing? Yeah, Teal, my bad. I thought you were asking about the mock draft we're about to do. All right, Krashnor. Once again, hit enter on whatever you're trying to say if you are not in the draft yet and you want to get in here. Otherwise, I will be starting it in about 10 seconds. But Q, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping on in. And yeah, no complaints. I actually emailed back and forth with a very, very high up person, previous person within the Green Bay Packers organization a few times. So that's pretty cool. I'm not getting like a job from that connection, but maybe it'll be something I could tap into at some point. Got a little bit of advice from him. So that was pretty neat. All right, we're going to start the draft. Chase going at the 1. Jefferson, Barkley, Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Metro thinking about it. 30-second timers, guys, so we do have to move quickly, unfortunately. But that helps us get through 2 drafts more easily. And maybe sometimes do a 3rd if we need to. Michael, are you saying 14-team to practice for our mock drafts? Because if so, we'll do that. Well, we can do one. If people are down. Otherwise, tonight might be a good one. I forgot I'm up on the clock here. I think I have Neighbors ahead of Christian McCaffrey. Nope. But we'll do this. Okay, Metro. So you made it in time to get your guy? You took McCaffrey and Achane. You freaking jerk. I don't know. I just grab somebody. I'm thinking of moving Drake London up in my rankings. Like, I think that's maybe who I would take there, actually. I was kind of lower on him earlier on in the offseason, and I have reasons to still not be higher up on him. But so do I have reasons about everybody else that's just up ahead of him. DeAndre Swift's season. I don't know if I can trust the opinion of someone with DeAndre Swift's season. No, I'm kidding. As their name. Life has been good, just preparing for leagues by doing tons of mock drafts, looking forward to the start of football. Hell yeah, Q. I appreciate you. I agree with you. I appreciate you too. You're not wrong. And Metro, did you want London? Metro keeps getting booted. Oh, you got London. I told you I had a good plan with my start. What did you think? Well, I almost took McCaffrey. The only reason I didn't take McCaffrey was I thought better chance of McCaffrey making around than Neighbors. So good. Yeah, no, I like McCaffrey, HN around the turn, depending on who's available exactly. But in that situation, if I were you, I think I would have done the same. Yeah, I would have done the same. So I like it. Metro's good with Drake. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha, Metro. You worry about your schoolwork. Burgos Bill. Got that CD Lamb. Irving over Taylor Brown. Tisk tisk. Actually, I have him behind Kyron too. James Cook. There we go. Cook season. My dreams of Cook falling to me at late third are probably over with these days. Shut up, Carson. Why the heck you gotta do that? Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright, George Kittle it is. I am at the 11 spot, DeAndre. And if you're not in here, which I don't think you are, we will be doing another mock draft after this if you want to get in on that. Harrison Evans. I less love that. And that's why I like going wide receiver kind of in the first round-ish. Who do I have here? James Conner? My RB1, James Conner. Let's go. Nah, I'm actually okay with Conner. But it doesn't feel the most sexy. We'll put it that way. I still have Hall over Conner. Okay, Hall was gone. Yeah, I mean, I believe Conner was better last year, right? Obviously, it's a new year. Conner's a year older. Kenneth Walker's still as injury prone as ever. Yeah, I've got Conner. I'm a little bit lower on Ken Walker. I've got Conner, Kamara, Walker in that order. I'm not gonna get mad at anybody for taking Walker ahead of them either. You know, that's just the order I got it. Conner's good. He's perennially a good value in drafts. This year, we're on the borderline of him being a good value. Unless you're getting him, like, here. Then it starts to become a value, probably. Hopefully. I mean, who knows? Maybe Trey Benson will actually take more work than a lot of us are expecting. But it's also easy to get Benson if you have Conner, which I'll try to remember later. There we go. Give me Harvey. Not the greatest of news today on Harvey, but I don't care. I still believe in it. George Pickens, of course. See, this is what sucks about drafting with you guys. You all know I love George Pickens, and I've probably swayed you into loving him too. That was the choice there. Actually, it technically was not the choice there. But I have one of those, and Ridley. Ridley was the choice there. Alright, so... I mean, this is probably about the spot. If Judkins is coming back, he could be a really good value. I might have a slow start, but at least James Conner will be kind of half decent there. Yeah, man, Pickens... I think he's starting to creep up where it's not going to be such a great value. He might be going earlier in our home drafts and stuff than we're expecting to. Well, we've been prepping for the last month, but such a good value probably for where you can get him. What happened to Paul Harvey? Huh? I don't know who Paul Harvey is. What about the rest of the story? Are you asking what happened to RJ Harvey? Is his like real name Paul or something? It was just another comment bunch of children. Okay, I don't feel like you're talking about RJ Harvey. Who's Paul Harvey? I gotta... Guys, don't draft too quickly. Give me a moment. Okay. The face looks a little familiar. Died in 2009, I should say. Well, he died is what happened to him, I guess. I mean, he did a lot of other things before he died. But if we're asking about the last thing that happened to him, he died. Bunch of children. Okay, I'm putting the pieces together. You think he was like... Was he not faithful to the wife? Is that what we're getting at? Is this like an exclusive happening in chat right now? Whoa! Tyler Warren in the 7th. Metro. Knows what he wants. And he's not afraid to get it. Alright. Addison. Godwin, Debo, Khalil. It's Matthew Golden time. Now you know the rest of the story. Okay. Guys, I'm out. I don't know Paul Harvey. I grew up on television, not radio. Tyrone Tracy. I do have ahead of Cam Scattaboo these days. And, oh boy. Where are my rankings when I need him? Paul Harvey, get the heck out of here. I think it is Tracy. That's my first time grabbing Tracy. Alright, I think we're... Man, what a weird running back room. I immediately regret that decision. I should have just grabbed another wide receiver there. Gotta have him. And it might, you know, if that things go wrong for Josh Downs, that could spell a great season for Tyler Warren if he were to miss a significant time. So, after I pass up on wide receiver, who's going? Egbuka, which, you know, would have been a fine addition in here. Godwin, Addison also would have been nice. Samuel, Pearsall, Higgins, Krashner. Why you gotta take Higgins like that? Alright, good to know. So, 8th round Higgins off the board. And Keon Coleman, hey, taking some upside shots. I like that. And that could end up working out really nicely. Like, late season, you get somebody who can provide you with some more oomph than Cortland Sutton. But Cortland Sutton can get you there in the meantime. I like that. I do like that. You got yourself what they call a high floor squad in a good way. Ceiling too, some of it. McBride and Chase providing your ceiling. If I had to bet on it, I'd probably bet on Hampton popping off. It might be a little bit limited, but just like in terms of efficiency and stuff, I'd still bet on it. Yeah. Okay, so my wide receiver room is going to be very top heavy, I feel. Dak Prescott did go. Well, that's okay. I believe Brock Purdy will be just fine. Oh, I got that Purdy Kittle hookup. Let's go. Bigsby Blue. You watch. You like too many of my guys there, Michael, to be drafting right around that turn. Do I just take... Oh gosh, I don't know. I didn't have time to look. That might be who I would go with though. Actually, that might fit my room really nicely too. Yeah, I do have Ramondre over Eckler. Because with Harvey, Judkins, early season, I might not be able to rely on them. Hopefully Tracy will be able to be reliable, but if not, Ramondre Stevenson almost surely is somebody that I could play as my RB2 and should give me some decent numbers for where I can get him in the draft, especially. My flex position is still questionable week 1. Potentially. I mean, Tracy, one of these two maybe. Matt Golden maybe, especially actually Matt Golden week 1 might be fine because there might be injuries in Green Bay still lingering. But might be the type of roster where who would I want? Christian Kirk, Rashad Bateman. I'm still probably not going to draft him. Here you go, Burgos. What's your team looking like? Well, Michael Pittman might have just gotten an upgrade, potentially. Once again, I mean, obviously hamstring's not a season ender, but sometimes they turn into season enders a couple times down. Nice running back room. A little thin at wide receiver still. But as long as you don't have an injury, you can get by. Take another shot at wide receiver down here. Ingram, Prescott. Yeah, you really don't need another quarterback or tight end. Nice. Good work. Fergie Ferg going there. This is where I will take... Did I wait too long? No. Trey Benson. Then I'll wait. Stroud? First quarterback. Pitts. Taking some risks there. But if it pays off, then it pays off. So I will go find my guy, Roman Wilson here. Pickens or Addison for Dynasty? I think Pickens. I think Pickens has more top-end talent. Pickens can be I think he could probably... I mean, he has been already in his career, a wide receiver 1 for a team. Whereas I'm not so sure about that for Addison. Now, the thing about Pickens is he's only in Dallas for 1 year, guaranteed at least. Where does he go from there? Is it going to be a good situation or a bad situation? So there's some risk there. Whereas Addison... so Addison's like, if we were to extrapolate this to when you think of... when we talk about fantasy football players, like I would say Pickens is the high ceiling and Addison is the safe floor guy out of the two. I'd probably rather shoot for that ceiling shot myself by a little ways. He's also someone who's more, well, you know what? They've both got some off the field concerns. I was going to say he's also someone you're more likely to be concerned about off the field, but Addison. Eileen Pickens. Eileen going for the ceiling. Metro got booed. Oh, last second add in Cam Ward. Hey, I'm probably going to move Cam Ward up my rankings, I think, a little bit. He's having a good camp. And then now we're going to take Torrey Horton. All right. So Torrey Horton, wow. Torrey Horton, Roman Wilson, Matt Golden, Neighbors Thomas, though. So, I mean, I went all out at the top. It's a perfect sandwich, what I did with my wide receivers. So it kind of makes sense, actually. Kittle, Purdy in the middle there. I love that. Connor, Harvey, Quinshon, Tracy, Stevenson, Benson. I think I'll be fine, especially as the season goes along. I think I'll be able to. I think that should work fine. I like it. I actually like this. It's such a weird build, and these two picks could end up sucking, of course. Interesting. Well, Michael, I talked about your. I loved how you started. I got jealous of a couple of picks there. A lot of receivers in a row there. And then nice here too. So it's like every other two picks I like a lot, and I have no problem with Khalil Shakir, and I understand Diggs. But Stroud Pitts would make me nervous, and Tillman to finish it off is a nice another pick. 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably wouldn't go 7 wide receivers. I'd probably want 5 running backs instead and 6 receivers, because running backs do typically get more injured than receivers. So that would be my biggest, outside of how, although you took Stroud ahead of Fields, Love, May. I mean, there were other guys that I might have liked there instead of Stroud, so I get it. Each fine. Krashner. Talked about your early draft there. Finish off Drake, May, and McCarthy, Davis, Tootin, Scootin. So I don't think Tootin will matter, but I like Ray Davis there a lot. Nice, yeah, another one, some mixed feelings, specific players. Burgos. A Jalen McMillan believer. See, I don't like the 6th, 7th receiving target on a team. You got Ibuka, you got Godwin. Of course, he'll miss some time. So, I guess if you want McMillan for the early portion of the season, but I don't think he's going to crack your roster early portion of the season. You got Mike Evans. You've got the tight end, who's going to be on the field much more than him and still get more targets than him, and probably a higher target rate even when he's on the field. And then you got 2 good receiving running backs. So somewhere between, at best, 5th target on a team. I don't really care for those guys. I know there's some sort of underswelling going on for Jalen McMillan because he had a good year last year, but it was very touchdown reliant too. It wasn't like he was getting a lot of targets. And Luther Burden I don't love. So I don't love your final picks. I don't love Pittman. That situation might be a little bit better once again too early season, which is I don't think you need a 3rd wide receiver early season, but in case of injury. Noise, Metro. What do we do here? Ty Felton. Going for the early season. Cam Ward, Bo Nix. Scatterboo. Should be able to get by at running back just fine with 2 shots there. I like the shots. Actually, yeah, I like that running back room, actually. Noise. Shut up, Carson. Did I go through yours? No. Let's do it real quick. Receivers. So Nico, Williams, Hunter, Dunze, Ibuka competing. All right. And then you got Jacobs, Hampton. Mason can be your week 1, potentially your week 1 flex spot. So that was actually a really good pickup there. J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White. Okay. Jake Ferguson and Ertz. I don't think you get a whole lot different from either one of them. I don't love the tight end choices, but otherwise, I like the strategy. I like the strategy there. Very solid. All right. Yeah, Downs had a hamstring today, which is starting now. It's getting to that point where that's going to leak into the season probably. Okay, going from MLA to APA citations makes me want to punch. Yes, yeah, I can understand that. I don't like Pittman at all, especially with Daniel Jones. I like Pittman better with Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones is going to pass more. 8.6 A dot is perfect for downs. I see what you're saying, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, I just think Downs and Tyler Warren are going to eat from each other overall just too much. How many rounds will there be? It should be the same amount of rounds in the 14. Hole, not hole. Don't get your holes messed up. You get the holes mixed up, it's a whole world of hurt for somebody. I have a story that I'm not going to share because we have a young gentleman in chat who's I'm sure heard worse anyways. But let me get the link in there first, and then I'll do the settings update. I have never done voice to text, I don't think, in my life. I refuse. It's literally worse than texting, although texting is so much worse than it used to be too. Pause? Pause where? Links in the description, guys. We are going to go half PPR, 14 team. 30 seconds. And then we'll update the roster settings. And then we'll do... four flex, one running back, one wide receiver, a tight end, quarterback, 6 bench. I think that's the settings of our league. So this would be a nice little practice sesh. Hukalakan? I know there's more to it then, after that. Can I see the rest of it? I don't think I can. Hukalakan? That's not right. I know I've at least heard much, much, much worse, and probably seen worse too. Oh, I wasn't talking about you, Metro. I forget. You are too. You are young too. So Michael requests a 14-round draft, and then he doesn't join in. Okay. I'm like in the middle of nowhere. Oh, I gotta join in. Michael, you're in here. I think Metro's in my spot. I think I have pick like 7 in it or something like that. So I'll just move down to 9 then. All right. Will it be just the 4 of us today? Slow week in here after it was bumping last week. Oh, is that right, Metro? Okay, Hookah's gonna take... Oh, can't make up our mind. Oh, Crashner's in here over there. All right. I forgot. I gotta go to the side then. Can I? Why don't we do this? Is that too small on the screen? Should I go just right in the middle there? Just get the edge of Team 14? Nino, are you getting in here or are you in here? MH, I can move. It's all good. It's all good. It's just going to be interesting to see the players that are like actually available and everything too. I don't know if you answered it earlier, but obviously depends on the team by round 4 through 6. But who do you value more, Tet or Henderson? Huh. I don't. I think it's Henderson. I'm going to look at my overall rankings, and I think it's by a ways. But I'm low on Tet, and I might go higher on Tet. Okay, so I think it depends the team build, what you feel safe with, and everything. I have Travion Henderson 61st overall in my overall rankings, and Tedderell McMillan 63rd. So no wonder why it was tough for me to decide there. And both of them, I might go a little bit higher on in my rankings yet. So they both might go up. I would say Tet's safer and should be more consistent, almost certainly on a week in and week out basis. And Travion Henderson gives you a little bit more upside, but is going to be more inconsistent. So I I kind of want to move Ted up. This is one of those weird things where, like, I like Travion Henderson more than Devonta Smith, but I have Devonta Smith ahead of Tedero McMillan. But if I'm comparing Henderson to Tedero McMillan, who I have behind Devonta Smith, I kind of feel differently than I did about Henderson versus Smith. Because both Henderson and Smith are a little bit reliant on the situation working out for them in order for them to be, like, consistently good. So I think I'm going to end up moving Ted ahead of Devonta Smith in my rankings. Ugh. I don't know. It just kind of depends what you've drafted, maybe up till then. All right, guys. That's so tough. Are you going to help out with it? We would love to have you in here, Nino. Okay, so yeah, it would depend a little bit on the running backs and the wide receivers that I pick specifically. If I'm just looking for that higher floor safe pick, I'm going to go with Tet. If I got, like, Christian McCaffrey, maybe I'll just go for another upside shot at running back just in case McCaffrey gets injured again or something like that, just out of a little bit of extra caution. I don't like to draft scared and expect people to get injured. And I really don't necessarily expect him to get injured again, but, another year older. He's been injured throughout his career. You just never know. All right, gonna start it. Gonna give Nino just a moment in case he wants to come help us out, just so we've got another human drafting. It's still practice. I know it's not exactly the best practice, but it helps you make decisions, I feel like, regardless. All right, we're gonna start, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you, Nino. You're the man. 1. The clock's going to be ticking real soon for you, Nino, so I'm giving you a half second extra to come back in because the clock's on. Jamar Chase at the 1, Bijan going 2, Barkley right after that, Amon-Ra, and then we got some humans. But the computer doesn't really mess up early draft. Michael once again going right near me, in front of me. Ugh. Although I'll get my 2 picks in between your 1. Hookah, thanks for joining us. Unless you're an alien like we had last week. On Tuesday. Tuesday we had... The clock's on you. Big. Jefferson. Metro? CD. Attaboy, Metro. You know what's up. So who went early there? Oh, Amon-Ra. Team 4. Reaching for Amon-Ra. I'm on the clock. Christian. McCaffrey. Come on down. Neighbor's going right in front of me. You're a meat popsicle? Not something I want. A piece of... Alright, Nico, Drake, A-Chan, Puka, Genty, Bowers. Woof. Team 13 popping off on Bowers there. A little early. It's a lot of teams so far getting wide receiver. Will you go running back with that run on Chase Brown? You all suck. Welcome home, lad. Take the risk. At least I like the kid. It's always nice to have people you like on your team. I always find myself drafting a few people I don't like just because they're a good value. And it's like, why do that? I don't think I've ever done a 14 mock either. Like, it feels like Chase Brown lad should be going much later than the middle of the second. Yeah, Nino, what's going to be left for you? Oh, the board's going to be like, let's see, 1, 2. So I have 4 guys left in a tier. Let's see if one of them makes it to you. You might not agree with that tier, of course, but I have 4 guys left in that tier. Before you start to get into... No, that would be too soon. No, before, like, tight end, quarterback, one of them's okay in my book. Pouring Henny. What up, Henny? How you been, brother? Yeah, a couple months or, like, half a year. Which is it? Do you come around for my, NFL draft stuff? Nice to see you. Changed my user. You won't remember this one. Hope you've been well. I remember Henny. The pouring part was the part I didn't quite recall. Were you still under the same a Hennessy reference of some sort? Hukalakakan, up on the clock. Hopefully still with us. I don't know, was he still with us for Evans? Hey, there we go. What a pro. He's in here. Jaden Daniels. All right, so yeah, we're seeing the quarterbacks, tight ends go. You got Bucky Irving was... Actually, it might not have been 4 people left, but Bucky Irving's right on that borderline of guys that made sense there. Okay. I think it's once again Kittle time. That feels weird in the middle of the third, but okay. All right, Nino, I appreciate you for helping out. It's nice that it's like 30 seconds at least, so it goes relatively quickly. It was the October stream with the pumpkin background, I believe. Okay, yeah, so been a few months. Yes, the pumpkin background. That's funny you remember that too. I had a couple fun backgrounds at that point. I was having fun with it. Is this gonna be another Connor? I think it is. This team looks too much like my last one. Kind of makes sense though, but it'll start to shake up again soon. DJ Moore for Michael. So nervous about him. I keep hearing other people say the same thing now too. But it's so hard. You can't like rank him lower. It's just so hard. He's a toughie. We'll see what he ends up doing. C.D. Taylor, Cook, Hubbard. Got those running backs. There goes Pickens in the 4th. Burgos. I was hoping to see him. Wide receivers definitely going in this draft. Trying to think of like, where am I going to end up ranking Quinshon Judkins again? Haluka down to the wire. Sam ooh. 3 year running backs. This will be fun. All right. A 0 RB in 14 team, like, actually might, like, kind of be a good thing. I do have Calvin Ridley ranked higher than Olave. I want Olave, though. I do probably need wide receiver. Yeah. All right, Ridley, come back. Ridley, come back. Don't give up on us. I mean, Sampson is still, I think, like the other running back that's going to get work. I think Jerome Ford is the backup to Quinshon Judkins once Quinshon Judkins is the starter, at least, which maybe now that won't be till like week 3 or something. Maybe. I don't know. But because, yeah, he hasn't been with the team at all. So, you know, that might get delayed a little bit. But Jerome Ford's going to be Judkins' backup. Dylan Sampson is going to have his own role. So, yeah, I mean, I'll move Dylan Sampson down. He'll be going down a little ways. Ooh, Brian Robinson. Come on home. I'll take you. President Johan Baker. What up, Prez? How you doing? Static about the pumpkin. Okay, I'm happy to see you back around, man. Yeah, I like the Halloween season, especially now that I live in Florida. But even in Wisconsin, like, yeah, it's just like a nice change of pace time of year, weather-wise and everything. And I like horror movies, so I'm usually watching like a horror movie every night around October time period. I'm just a fan. And then you got Christmas not too long in the future, and I like Christmas time. So it's just the holiday season. Like starts well, my birthday's September, late September. So it's like the holiday season just starts uh, late September. Even though I don't really ever do anything for my birthday. Guys, Travis Kelsey. I was about to like be starting to hype him up a little bit with the suspension for Rashee Rice early season, and then now Rashee Rice is probably going to be there early season. Now that it really funks things up for Travis Kelsey. I'm not going to move him in my rankings or anything, but it's interesting how that has an effect on him. And then now that coming in the middle of the season, because like Travis Kelsey, I don't know, it feels like this year he's at least going to be on fire early season, but now he's going to be competing with Rashee Rice. Nino folded. ETN Tracy with Warren. I think it's excusable. I might not perfectly agree with it. Mason and Tank Bigsby, I believe I still have ahead of ETN, but it's close. I could probably use a receiver. Roman Wilson. Odunze, I mean. I have Golden higher. I can't do it. No, I wonder if I should have. I think I should have gone running back there because I know who I'm going to go for wide receiver here, and honestly, I like them more than Odunze. Not that it's bad to have more, but did Golden go? Yeah, okay, right in front of me. Jaden Higgins. Oops. Oh, I took Golden. I didn't take Odunze, but I still wanted to go. Okay. I like this wide receiver room. I could get down with this. It's weird liking Calvin Ridley because I've had to be the one that said not to draft him the last 2 years because he was going too high. Now I think he goes too low, so now I'm a fan of him. Michael, you've been going right behind and in front of me here. Jacobs Hampton Neighbors, obviously very good. I have concerns about your wide receiver 2 being good enough, but there's definitely potential for it to be there. Especially if you get lucky with who you're starting compared to, start sit, and then you go Tank Bigsby Blue again, which I love. And I, for the most part, can't argue with where you're taking them there. I think I have Stevenson over Blue, but whatever. Different type of fantasy option. Yeah, I think, that's because people are overdrafting them. I do think this is the year for probably just a spike year. I'm going to guess it'll go back down like by next year, or he'll get like overdrafted next year if he has a good year this year. But this is his time to come out. Or the come up. And you took Dak Prescott from me. You're a jerk. You're just a real jerk. It's okay. I'll forgive you. Colston Loveland. Yeah, I'm going to have to go running back here because I don't know that they'll make it back around. Eckler. Do I really want both? Ah! I just choked. I just picked somebody. Because I don't know that I want Eckler and Robinson. That wouldn't have been the end of the world, though. Connor, McCaffrey, yeah, I like taking the shot on Davis. Maybe I can get some hot weeks from him in case of an injury. Well, I think Cam Ward will be better than the quarterback he had last year. We'll just say that. And I think it's going to be really hard for Cam Ward to be that bad. And Cam Ward's looking pretty impressive. He is not looking too bad. Very early on in his career. He's not looking too bad. A little Jack Besh signing. There we go. And I think I have Jordan Love the highest of this group. And it looks like, did somebody take Drake May already? Yeah, crash. Wouldn't mind Jordan Love and Drake May. I think that could be a fun little combo. But I'll just rock out with Jordan Love. That's all right. Ooh, I got the Jordan Love Matthew Golden stack. There we go. Let's go, baby. All right, so for these 14 teams, guys, I think we're drafting like better in this one than we did last draft. Puka, Adams, Egbuka, Kyle Williams, taking a shot on him. I know some people were impressed by his debut. He didn't do much, but one of those things, they liked what they saw. Running backs, you should be good, hopefully. No injuries happen. Or like people get sat like Swift mid-season or something. Kraft May. Hey, that's a fun roster, Crashner. That's a fun roster. And I mean that in a good way, not in a sarcastic, making fun of it way. Jack Besh, Rashid Shaheed, Odunze, Olave, Metcalf. Nice running backs. Got your quarterback. Yeah, so that wide receiver 2 spot's precarious. Shut up, Carson. And you know that, I'm sure. So you're definitely going to want to take another swing there at some point here. But if Olave can pay off, then it looks real good. Brings me to my roster. Yeah, kind of just like even throughout, like a lot of mine are. That I should be fine for flex early season. So I'm an injury away from like flex being a pain to fill. Hopefully my team can stay healthy early. Come on home, Braylon Allen. There we go. Can anybody guess what my next 2 picks are going to be, probably? I got Connor again. I should have taken... Yeah, no. There was no good way to get Benson. Just had to hope he would make it here. So Samson would be interesting because... Oh, no, I didn't get Quinshawn. Jordan James. Okay. Roman Wilson, baby. Come on down. The Knicks Cam Ward combo for Metro. There we go. Pouring Henny. Yeah, it was. If you need like a 10 team, we could do a 10 team and I could cut the bench down a little bit and we could do a real quick one. A Rams super stack. That's not a good super stack to take right now with everything going on. So I feel like oddly comfortable with my wide receivers, and I probably shouldn't, right? I should go wide receiver and not take Trevor Lawrence. Right? It's 14-team league, though. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence in a 14-team league. Let's get 2 QBs here. Yeah, we can do a quick 10-teamer right after this. So I reviewed the teams, I think, for the most part, midway through. Metro, I think I like a lot of the names that I'm seeing overall. Hookah Luka. Ooh, all right. I don't agree with everything, but I see you. And I think it's fun. That running back room is atrocious. You literally don't have an RB1 or 2 possibly week 1. Well, J.K. Dobbins will probably have to be your RB1 with an incredibly just a floor and no ceiling. Ugh. The running backs that's risky as all hell, but maybe it can form together. A little luck, it can form together. Nina. Wilson, Flacco, Neighbors, Judy, Burgos. How did we end up? Hopkins late, Keenan Allen, Mims, Debo. So I don't love like the wide receiver depth. I get it though, and it might work out fine. I like your running back room. And I'm on. Thornton late. There we go. Luther Burden, Reed, Diggs. Little precarious in the wide receiver room, but it can work out just fine. You got Benson, Woody Marks there. Yeah, I think you handled out. I think I like the strategy overall. I just don't agree with every single decision, but it could work out. Obviously, it could work out. All right, let's get a little quick tenner in here. 13 away from 100 subs. Boop. Boop, boop. All right, invite coming in. 10 team. Let's do full PPR. 10 team, 30-second timer. Maybe. What's the other 30-second? 10-second? Nah, we'll keep it 30. Full PPR, 10 team, 30 seconds. Let's go. Roster, we're going to do... We'll turn the roster back to normal. Why did it auto do that? We'll just do 4 bench. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, tight end, flex. All right, quarterback. Peace out, Nino. Thank you very much, my brother. Always nice seeing you. Probably get Golden over Diggs in a real one. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. I think, the arrows face in different directions. Wilson and Neighbors and Flacco and Judy. Which Wilson? I'm not thinking of a Wilson. Oh, Wilson and Neighbors or Flacco and Judy. Yeah. You do have stacks all over the place. I hope you're not playing Flacco ever. But, you know what? Maybe he'll do... Quinshon Judkins is back, potentially, though, so I don't think he'll be as good. 3 wide receiver, Metro? We can do that. We reduced the benches to 4, so, why not? We'll just do 3 bench. We'll just... You know what? Let's do this. We're just going to basically draw our starting squads. I took a little 10 rounds here. All right. Did DeAndre Swift season, I think... Oh, no, Pouring Henny, you wanted in here. DeAndre Swift season, are you still around? Do you want in here? Yeah, just kind of doing starting lineup. Sometimes, you don't get your quarterback till 10th, 11th round, so a couple of bench spots in there. If you draft like me, that's usually the case. I've been drafting late tonight. Let's just put a. I've been around you two so much. Let's go up here at pick 5. I think we're going to start the draft. 5, 4, 3, 2. Krashner getting in here. Attaboy. 1. Shut up, Carson, getting in here. Good thing I didn't start it too quick. All right. Hey, this is a good close to full. Are you guys good with your spots? Do any of you want the 5th spot? Do you need practice from it? I can move. I know there's a delay, so I'm giving it a second for you to type move in chat. 3, 2, 1. Too late. I hope I gave you the amount of time that was necessary. Michael's on the clock to start it out. Going Jamar Chase. Shut up. CD. You jerk. I'm supposed to get CD at 5. Well, this would be fun. I'm going to be able to start this draft off with probably somebody different than I mostly have. Because I always get CD if I'm like anywhere in the top 6. Metro came in here, and then he's crashing out on the first pick. Can't make up his mind. He gone. Bijan, it will be. And I think currently I have Gibbs over Jefferson, full PPR. Oh, I probably would lean Jefferson over Gibbs in full PPR. But Gibbs is good for full PPR. So we won't cry over spilt milk. Neighbors Henry, Nico. I know what I would do. That's exactly what I would do, pouring Henny. There we go, baby. Krashner with Amonra and Genty going for that high floor. I feel like probably. Hopefully, Genty will provide that for you. But yeah, I got an H-hand there. So I currently have A.J. Brown at the top of these wide receivers. And I have these wide receivers ahead of the running backs. Full PPR, Drake London, Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown. I feel like Drake London is the best full PPR of the bunch, like without much of a question, probably. Because Thomas is going to have to split some of his stuff with Travis Hunter now. Yeah. And the news on Darnell Mooney, not so great so far in Atlanta. Yeah, I mean, obviously you took Genty over Achant for a reason. I was just not what I would do. Okay, Gibbs London. Full PPR? I'll still go for it. Give me McCank. Give me that conky. Gotta be careful when you say that. Ooh, Gibbs me that conky. Guys, if I get Gibbs and McConkey on a team, I am so calling it, give me that conk. Like this. Is that good? Is that a bad name? I like to make my names out of the play. I don't care how good they are, really. I don't care how good my team names are. I just like to make a dirty name out of the names. It's a habit. It's probably a bad habit. How do I have them? How do I have them ranked? I can never remember anymore. Amarion, come home. We got it. That's pretty good. All right, there we go. It usually takes me like a full day, the day after I drafted, to come up with something. Well, maybe not. It usually takes me like 40 minutes straight of sitting there looking at my roster, trying to figure out the name. That one came right to me. I'm pretty proud of that one. With Hampton and London, you could also do something about, like, you know, living in the big city type of thing. I don't know. I don't think anything's easy to come up with that, but just thinking London and then living in the Hamptons, you know, it's something. It's something that you could try to work off of. Wow. What are we doing? I didn't like that spot. All the quarterbacks were gone. All the tight ends were gone. As they were supposed to be there. DK Metcalf was gone, who is somebody that's probably what was messing with me the most there. Well, you know, I'm still a little concerned about Harrison, but Chase, Bucky, I don't get excited about, but he'll be fine. He'll be good. Full PPR also probably should be good for him. Could be good for Harrison. Should be good for Metcalf. Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's 10 team. It's hard to get a 10 teamer that I don't, you know, that I'm like, ugh. Is Metro just completely out of here? Yeah. That's alright. Working on homework. Hookah. Are we going to ignore the running backs? No, we got Achan already. Harvey, nice. I would have drafted him there. I could add Henderson into this. Nah. I don't know. I might have gone Henderson there over Pickens, full PPR, and then get like Olave probably here. And full PPR or Ridley. Too many players I want right there. I wish Henderson was going later. I think I can wait around there. Full PPR. I still gotta get Ridley over Olave, I think. I don't know. That's close. Does Olave actually have more upside than Ridley? I don't think so. I think we got a better wide receiver in Tennessee. New Orleans, Tennessee's defense, I don't think either one of them are very good. Right? Competition on the roster. I mean, Rashid Shaheed's a better second wide receiver than anybody else for Tennessee's second wide receiver. Yeah, I think Ridley's got more upside still. Point Henny added Hunter and Waddle around that turn. Hunter's ADP skyrocketed so quickly. He had been going so low. Low. Ooh. Caleb? Still? I'll take the shot. It's my running back 4. Yeah, don't forget. You need a kicker and a defense here, guys. Ooh, Jaden Blue. Pollard, Blue, Irving. Fun. Golden Metcalf, Harrison Chase, fun. Hawkinson, we'll see. Jacoby, Williams, Adams, Lamb. Should be nice enough. Brown, Kamara, Henderson, fun. With McBride in there, that helps. Oh, Lamb, nice. Those running backs are still available. Looks like I misread the board. I guess if we're going to fill out the roster, then I'll take my tight end and quarterback. I wasn't going to draft them, but it looks like everybody's doing it. Oh, this was 3 wide receiver. Okay. We actually all did fine for 3 wide receiver, really. Crashed, little precarious, in my opinion, with DJ Moore as your wide receiver 3, but it's where I have him ranked, so I can't say anything. Dag and Kincaid. And then pouring Henny. What you got? Nico, Zay, Hunter, Waddle. I don't like Samuel. McCaffrey, Williams, Dobbins, and then you'll get some other running backs later. Daniels, Laporta. See, that's where I think, this is where I don't like Laporta. I just think, like, if you could have gone, let's say, Pickens would be my choice. Pickens... Chuba, Pickens, RJ, Harvey, Hunter, Waddle, Kincaid, Njoku, Evan Ingram. Pick your tight end there instead of Laporta. I know it's a little bit of a drop off from Laporta, but Flowers isn't bad. So we dropped Flowers. We got RJ Harvey, but RJ Harvey over Dobbins, I think, no guarantee on this, technically speaking there, I think is a significantly better option, especially for full PPR. But Flowers, full PPR, pretty decent, you know. Hunter, full PPR, we'll see. McCaffrey, Williams, full PPR. Yeah, I would have rathered, and Dobbins, full PPR. So, I think I would have rathered that. Like, I think Laporta just cramps the roster a little bit when you take him there. I just went over yours. I like your roster. You finished with Blue and Warren down the stretch. You know, Warren can be a nice start there in your flex spot. Or Golden, if Golden gets a Golden opportunity week 1. But if not, then you just play it safe, and Warren's probably your guy, unless Jaden Blue happens to be named the starter in Dallas. He probably won't be. And then you got your 3 wide receivers. You're starting, yeah, I mean, I like that. I like Burrow a lot. You know, I love Jamar Chase, of course. I'm pretty darn happy with DK Metcalf, and in full PPR, it's got a good chance of being, or has a chance of being really good. And same with Harrison. You know, if he does become the man, like some people are hoping for, then that could be beastly. Samuel is the Daniels pair, though. Yeah, but I don't care to get a receiver who's going to get like 4 or 5 targets in a game at like 3 yards deep, and then has to do something with it at his age after a down year. I don't know. Hookah, DeAndre Swift. Forget the last draft. Yeah, Hookah. I did cover yours, I think, but Jefferson, Evan Smith. So I don't love Evan Smith, but then you came back with Olave, which I like a lot, and then, you know, Diggs. It could work out. It could work out fine. It's not like you're spending a whole heck of a lot of capital on that. And Smith, I don't love, but if there's an injury to even Goddard, you know, those weeks, he can bring a lot more to you. A.J. Brown could always get injured. Running backs, Achane, Harvey, Scam. So you're still thin at running back. You don't like running backs. I probably would have gotten one of these, you know, Brian Robinson. And right now, I would take, unfortunately, Warren over Cam Scatterboo or something. But as 3 wide receiver, you can still get more, like I said about this pouring Henny's roster, I think there's still some running backs that can be had, like Jordan Mason, Tank Bigsby. There's still guys that you can fill out the running back room here. So ultimately, because we didn't fulfill the draft, overall I like it. Mike Evans too, like I have him ranked where you're taking him, so I'm definitely not going to dog that. He's just not one of my targets. Like I don't think I've drafted him yet this year. Smith, I have him ranked a little bit behind where you're taking him there. I would have taken, I think, every receiver taken before your next pick, between those 2 picks ahead of him. But he's in the same tier, so, can't dog it too much. I think Sam Laporta is a trap, and he did just get injured today, too. Yeah, he's a good tight end. I like him, but it's just the capital of where he goes. I have him in his own tier. I don't have him as one of the top 3 tight ends, but I do have him before the other tight ends. But you have to draft him like almost closer to the top 3, and I really, the gap between the top 3 and him is much greater than the gap between him and the next tier of players, and I would probably eliminate that tier, except for the fact that it's Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews right behind that tier, and I think Sam Laporta offers much more high upside than either of them ultimately. Kelce in spurts, especially when Rashee Rice is gone, might be very, very fantasy relevant, but I've always liked my teams better. It's just early or late for tight end for me. Either give me one of those top 3, or if I can get a Kincaid, an Njoku, a Mark Andrews, a Kelce later, I think Laporta's a lot closer to all of them than he is to these guys. So for the guys that are still available, R.J. Harvey, Pickens, Sutton, guys who can be really good contributing difference makers, league winners types of guys. I don't think Laporta is a league winner. So, it feels like a trap to me. But I do have him in that, like, middle tier, nonetheless. Screw running backs. Yeah, I mean, look, DeAndre, separation stats and all are fine and good. Every single year, the NFL community, the draft community has overdrafted Smith compared to how he does on the season. A.J. Brown's just better than him, and they just don't pass a whole lot. They run the ball a whole lot. And so A.J. Brown gets the bulk of the targets. There's not a whole lot left over for him. He's kind of a deeper play guy normally, unless Goddard's gone or Jahan Dotson now they have, I guess, is like their slot, which maybe with Jahan Dotson they put him outside. They get Smith inside a little bit more in the slot. That would help, just boost up that floor. He's just very inconsistent when they're healthy. So, talent is a lot of the story. It's definitely not all of it. Opportunities also a lot of the story. Actually, I would say opportunity is even a bigger story than talent ultimately in fantasy football by a slim margin. All right. I think that is it. Guys, thank you for coming. We got some good drafts in. That was some good practice. 14, 12, 10 leaguer. There we go. All the above. And some new and old faces coming through. So it was really nice to see you guys. And welcome to the gang, Swift season. Wish we could get you into the league, the listeners league. I'm looking for my out here. Nope, that's the wrong tab. Every Tuesday, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when these streams start. So come on, join us if you need more practice. I'll be here again on Tuesday. And even if you don't need practice and you just enjoy doing a mock or two, it's always nice to get those bots out of here. Now, it is pretty basic in many ways. It's half PPR. No bonus points. Basic settings. The roster build, however, is a little different. No kicker, no DST, no tight end, 4 flex, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and a quarterback. Tuesdays, Thursdays. Yep, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, all out on the flex. I don't have a spot for you, DeAndre, but like I said, if you come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will try to remember that specifically you in case somebody were to drop out of the league. I can keep you in mind for that. If you want, you could email me in case. It's thefantasyfootballforge@gmail.com. You could email me. I'll just keep that email on doc. The draft is on September 2nd. So only email me if this date works for you as a fill-in. September 2nd at 8:30. It's a Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I kept it within, when we normally do our mocks. So it's 2 days, or the 4th. It's 2 days before the Tuesday of the week that the NFL season starts, which starts on a Thursday. So that might be the 6th, and then it's the 4th that the draft is actually. It's that Tuesday. So if you would be able to make it, it would be good to have a few backups. I have a friend of mine, too, that I would probably contact first if he's available to hop in at the last second. Well, you can get Chase and Chase. I mean, what's wrong with the Chase and Chase law firm? Good Chase Brown, Jamar Chase. It's a great team name, Chase and Chase. He goes right around that 2-3 turn a lot so far. He might be bumping up to like mid-second, though, by the time we get to draft season. Well, we're in draft season, but by the time our drafts roll around. Oh, I see. Same team, you're saying? No, I mean, I expect them both to score a lot of points. It increases your floor because it's a little bit like that's an offense that's just going to score. There might be that 1 week. Okay, so it increases your floor. It does limit your ceiling a little ways, but because that offense is so high power, going to be putting up so many points, it doesn't decrease it by a whole lot, really. It does open you up to a potentially bad situation of, Joe Burrow goes down. Then you got 2 guys that are going to get worse because of that. Now, Jamar Chase has done pretty well but they're not the guys that you drafted in those spots, probably, if Burrow goes down. So you do open that door. I don't know. I wouldn't let it doesn't bother me. It does one thing and it does another thing, and it's fine. So I might end up with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens on one of my rosters. One of them, CeeDee Lamb's not going to make it to me, the 11 pick. But at the 4 pick, he probably will make it to me. I will probably draft him, and I'll probably take George Pickens later. And that is probably not smart. Yeah, so I mean, then you get your tight end, your running back, and that's if you're in full PPR, that's such a beast mode start for full PPR. In Dynasty 11 Keeper, I'm picking 5th overall. I'm hoping to get Omarion, Hampton, or Henderson later. Yeah, Omarion would be nice. I still think there's some question marks, limitations to Henderson, but Jacob Gibbs of CBS's Sportsline, I think it was him, did have some promising numbers for Henderson's upside that might help me to push him up a little bit higher, because I have concerns about being in a limited role in a mediocre offense at best, right? On a not so great team where they're probably going to have to be in more losing scenarios than winning scenarios, which aren't good for running backs, especially a receiving back that does help a little bit. I don't know. I'm a little bit lower on Henderson, and I don't want to be. So I'm looking into moving him up. A lot of Henderson praise. And I think it's gone too far. Some people have been willing to draft him real high. He's almost certainly not going to be starting being the number 1 back. He's almost certainly always going to be in a split for as long as Ramondre Stevenson is healthy. So there is some limit to that. I still think RJ Harvey has higher upside, but it's very close. And I have like 4 people in between them, and it's all very close with all those guys that I have there. So it's tough. I don't want to be the low guy in Henderson, but I am right now. All right. And also, though, some people are a little too gung-ho on the upside potential or the likelihood of that upside. End in the stream. Thank you very, very much, guys. I love you all. Appreciate you all. I hope to see you around again. Peace out. That's it.